In the novel The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, 4 Chinese-American daughters and their mothers' stories are told as they face the struggles of fate, living in the between of two cultural worlds and breaking gender barriers. The 4 mothers each take a turn telling their stories of struggle while living in China. They face many hardships including arranged marriages, sexual and physical abuse, unfaithful partners, and the passing of loved ones. In terms of the Joy Luck Club, Tan believes that sexism and gender inequality are major issues in today's society. She identifies this issue when discussing the cultural barriers between China and America and extends on the importance of fixing this problem. Tan begins her novel expressing the hopes and dreams the Chinese mother figures have for their daughters in America. Paralleling her life, Tan wants women in America's worth to be defined by who they are and not who their husband is. In China, the mother's worth was diminished. In the novel, a rich man named Wu Tizing raped An Mei's mother. After this, she had a child and was socially forced to be Wu Tizing's 4th wife. Tan shows the negative effects that sexual assault can cause when An Mei's mother takes her own life, as she is unable to bear the shame. Looking into the more modern issues of inequality shown in the novel, Lena, one of the daughters, struggles with inequality in the workforce when she receives unequal pay. Lena has given her husband/boss all his best ideas, yet she receives no credit for it. Harold has never given her a raise because of her status as his supportive wife, even though she is the most successful employee in the entire company. Tan makes it obvious that sexual assault is dangerous and can lead to the worst possible outcomes. Tan shows that gender inequality in any form is degrading and emphasizes the importance of both men and women knowing their own worth. Society has to recognize the effects of gender inequality and aid those subjected to sexual harassment so that society can decrease harm and increase productivity. There should be more awareness on sexual harassment and the negative side effects to encourage people to refrain from taking part in it. There should also be more programs to help those who have experienced sexual harassment.
I can dance and play the part if that's what you ask.
In 2017, the National Library of Medicine conducted a study with a sample of 158 female suicide attempters aged 20 years old or older, where 50% of the subjects reported have been sexually abused at some time in their lives. This clearly shows a strong relationship between sexual abuse and suicide attempts. This is not okay and can be prevented. As An Mei's mother experienced in the Joy Luck Club, rape is the worst form of sexual abuse and is a leading problem today. According to the National Crime Victimization Survey in 2002, there was 247,730 victims of rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault. Of these victims, about 87 were victims of completed rape, 70,000 were victims of attempted rape, and 91,000 were victims of sexual assault. This is a shocking statistic that shows how common rape and sexual assault is. This needs to change as it is only hurting the self-esteem of citizens and the overall future of our world. Looking at another theme in the Joy Luck Club, gender inequality is also an issue that is present in today's society. Gender shouldn't limit a person's capabilities, and it is crucial to remain unbiased when distributing pay and responsibilities in the workforce. In 2015, according to a Pew Research Center, it takes an extra 44 days of work for women to earn what men earn. women earned 80% of what their male counterparts earned in 2015 when looking at full-time, year-round workers only. In some areas of the workforce, women make less for the same job. This statistic considers only full-time men and women, and doesn't include pregnancy leave and part-time hours. In 2016, the Center for American Process stated that over a 40-year career, the average lifetime earning losses for women based on today's wage gap is a total of $430,480. These losses are greater for women of color. Latinas lose a total of $1,007,080, and African American women lose $877,480. The wage gap is diminishing the value of diversity, which can only hurt the successes of the workforce. Besides just the workforce, gender should not limit or restrict anyone from basic rights, such as education, freedom of speech, and freedom of expression. According to The Atlantic, written in 2013, in Saudi Arabia, women aren't allowed to drive and are discouraged from working jobs that would put them in contact with men. In certain countries, basic rights, such as driving, are prohibited from certain genders as a way of limiting one's freedom in the public sphere. In Saudi Arabia, women even have male guardians. Investigating other basic rights, having an access to education is unequal between genders as well. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization stated in 2013 that less than 40% of countries provide girls and boys with equal access to education. Also, only 39% of countries have equal proportions of boys and girls enrolled in secondary education overall. Although these statistics are surprising, it is important to acknowledge the opposing viewpoint. Almost everyone agrees that sexual assault is always wrong and decreases productivity. However, gender inequality in the workforce is more controversial. It is commonly seen that as long as the work is getting done, our country is successful. It doesn't matter who or what is completing the task. However, it does matter if the pay is different. Those who accept this separation of pay are usually the ones that are not experiencing it. It may be hard to understand if it is not affecting you directly, but those subjected to gender inequality need everyone to stand up for a change. Overall, we must provide help to those subjected to sexual harassment. Like in Tan's novel, there are many people forced into dangerous situations that leave lasting effects. We must also break gender barriers in the workforce and in daily life. Similar to Lena from the Joy Luck Club, gender or status should not define one's work ethic. Equality should be present when receiving the education to go to work, the right to drive to work, throughout the work environment, and the money you receive from your hard work. This issue should wake both women and men up to become more aware of the constant imbalances in our world. We shouldn't let these imbalances limit our successes and productivity, especially if these imbalances are caused by something as insignificant as our gender classification.
Things lost until